Okay, welcome. This is one of our last videos for the year. We're going to go over probability. This first video is going to cover theoretical probability, and then the next two will cover the next two sections. So theoretical probability is what we are doing today. So theoretical probability is the probability of event in theory. So if it was a perfect world, what would the probability of these certain events be? So the way you find it, it's the number of favorable outcomes, so the outcomes that you want, out of the total number of possible outcomes. So that's any kind of outcome that you could get. So on here, example 1, it says, what is the probability of the spinner landing on a number less than 3? So we need to go and look. This spinner, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections. It's got 8 sections. So there's 8 total possibilities, okay? But we need to find the number of possibilities where we have less than 3. So just look at each section and see which one has a number in it that's less than 3. So 0 is less than 3, 1 is less than 3, 5 is not, 2 is less than 3, 6 is not, 4 is not, 3 is not, and 7 is not. So only 3 of our sections out of these 8 total are a number that is less than 3. So we have 3 favorable outcomes out of 8 total possible outcomes. So now this is one way you can express your probability. And the other way that they'll have you express it is as a decimal or a percent. So what we need to do right now is do this 3/8 and get that as a decimal. So in your calculator, do 3 divided by 8, and then you can press Control Enter to turn it into the decimal, and you get 0.375, okay? And then now as a percent, all you have to do is take this decimal and multiply it by 100. So 0.375 times 100 gives you 37.5, and that's a percent now. So you got the fraction, you got the decimal, you got the percent. So the most typical ways they'll have you do it is either as the fraction or as the percent. Okay, our next example for today is, what is the theoretical probability of rolling a 5 on a regular 6-sided die? So a die, you've got sides that have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those are the 6 sides of a regular die. So how many possible outcomes are there? There's 6 total outcomes, okay? And then we need to see rolling a 5. Well, how many times does 5 show up on our list? 1 time. So we have 1 favorable outcome out of 6 total. So again, turn this fraction into a decimal. So 1 divided by 6, Control Enter. Okay, you get 0.1, and then you got 6 repeating. So it's 0.166, okay? And now just take that and multiply it by 100. So you can just type in your calculator times 100, and you'll get 16 point, and it's again 6 repeating, but we just round that to the nearest tenth, so 16.7%. So those are the 3 ways you can show your answer. So that's it for theoretical probability. Okay, so that's it for all the notes. So now we'll go over here. We'll look at the practice. On these ones, one I'll kind of look at you with is number 8 here. So it says a bag contains 1 red marble, 3 green marbles, 1 blue marble, and 1 yellow marble. Suppose 1 marble is picked at random. Find each probability. Okay, well, we need to do the one that's not green. So first thing you have to do is total them all up so we know how many total marbles there are. So 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1. So in total there are 6 marbles. So we know our probability is going to be out of 6. Okay, now it says we want to know the one that's probability of getting one that's not green. So you need to add up all the ones that are not green. So that's red, one blue, one yellow. So there are 3 that are not green. So 3 out of 6, and you have to make sure you reduce this. So 3 out of 6 reduces to 1/2. Okay, so 1/2 would be your fraction, and then you turn that into a decimal. It's 0.5, which is 50%. So on our assignment here, just make sure that you give me the fraction, decimal, and percent. And anytime you got your fraction, always make sure that you reduce it. So that's it for theoretical probability.